guess it is.
Welcome, sports fans, to the latest S&N production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the sports nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts for a select group of sports nerds with attitude, better known in Nerd Nation as the Rampant. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right.
What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Sports Nerds. We have the gang all back together after a couple of weeks, the full roster. Even Ken's technology is working tonight, which is amazing for everybody. Welcome back, Mr. John Olson.
Texas must have not been seated anymore.
No.
It's out of secession.
And John Olson here after a couple of weeks off. And, of course, my good friend, Mr. Big E. I'm working out every day no matter what. Elliot.
I can't wear these muscle shirts if I don't.
Why not? I do.
Oh, man, come on. I'm poking my mind's eye out. Hang on.
How you doing, fellas? Good to have the gang back together after a couple of weeks. Anyway,
I'm good.
John and I are in trouble.
Why?
Because we're, I mean,
you're not down 0-3. John's
not down 0-3. The Bolts aren't down 0-3. True, but the Bolts have been playing like crap. So
well, they played good today.
I'm not 100% convinced it's in the bag yet. So I'm just gonna cross my fingers.
I mean, if the Rangers can win Game 4, then the series is over.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody beating the Rangers at the Garden.
But thanks to St. Stephen Stamkos, I mean, it's
Andre Palat with the game winner with 49 seconds left to go.
Stamkos with the first goal.
Yeah.
How does that happen? How does your defense break so bad? Like that's happened a few times in the playoffs. Just get goals with like 5 seconds left in the game.
Well, that was Tampa. They got one at 0.9 against Florida. Remember that?
Yeah, dude. Like that is just. How is your defense?
That's called fortunate occurrences. You know what I'm saying?
It's called
that's called the angel smiling down on your happy ass.
Hey, Brett. Yeah, I know, Brett. For some reason, John's audio is messed up tonight. We don't know what it is. We're not echoing his bad. It's just John's.
Is it John's?
Yeah. You'll hear it, Elliot. It's like double talk. It's weird, but
I can't hear
anything. We get the gist of what he says. That's all. It's all good.
Just think of us tonight.
Yeah,
just think of us tonight as Echo and the Bunny Man. So.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yeah.
Although to be quite honest,
there's always some techie issue with this show, so it's all good.
Yes.
Well, I think I got the intro and outro thing figured out now.
I think we think you got that right, Elliot.
Well, now I'm feeling all weird. Like if my that's not good. Is it bad? Is
like,
still there?
Yeah, it's yeah. If you only got one, I mean, I don't know if he's got two audio sources or what else is going on.
No, I'm not an idiot. Hold on. I'll just restart. Let me rephrase that.
Apple.
I am an idiot.
It's called Apple, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Something's not right with your audio. He'll be back. So yeah, I mean, again, I was telling Ken in the green room before we started this thing. I am not watching the games live as they happen. I'm not watching the games because every time I watch,
what's weird is I'm
not watching because every time I watch, hey Clarky, the Bolts play bad. So I mean, it didn't help me the first two games, but it helped me today. So I'm going to stick with it. So, but I'm rooting for the Bolts.
Well, that's not a pattern. That's not a pattern if it didn't work the first two games.
I know.
So if I happen to watch it and they lose, then it's my fault then, huh?
Always, Ken, always. Oh, shut up, Brett.
Rangers, no.
It's good to see you back to the show, Brett. You've been gone for a while. We haven't seen you here, but
by the way, have you heard from Josh Cantor lately?
No,
Josh,
I have not heard from Josh. Josh is another Rangers fan, Elliot, and he's also a Browns fan, so that's why I like him.
Maybe he's not. Maybe he's staying low key.
What the hell's that?
That's somebody
Oh, you.
trying to get to me in Discord, and I'm just gonna let it ring,
Okay.
and he'll get the message sooner or later that I'm not available.
Doesn't he know you're busy this time of week on this time of night on Sunday nights?
Dude, this guy's 84 years old. I'm sure
Oh.
he doesn't know that. I'm trying to get to the Discord thing, but there you go. It's gone.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, I mean,
We were playing video games, right?
yeah.
This is guy that look, he's 84 years old and he's working out as hard as I am. Okay.
Okay. Is this your good buddy? The buddy you talk about in the morning
At the gym, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and so we've been playing Borderlands 2
Yeah.
on PC and in Discord and whatnot. And then earlier today, he kind of gave up because he was getting tired of getting killed. He started going the wrong way and all that shit. So I told him, hey, you need to take a break. And he never came back later on when we all got together. So, and I told him that I got a show on Sunday nights. And
Yeah.
Let's, hey, he's 84 years old. Let's get him.
Yeah. I only wish I could live. I only wish I lived that long. Anyway,
Not
Oh.
just live that long, but do the shit that he does at the age of 84.
Yeah.
Oh my
let's
God.
bring him back up here. All right, John. You're back.
Welcome back, John.
Welcome back, John.
I think the cat got his tongue.
Oh, he says, wait a second. He's using his headphones. What are you doing, John?
Yeah. What's with the facials?
What's with the facial expressions?
Nope.
Oh, shit.
Can't hear you.
He just swore. He just swore again.
Swore and we couldn't hear it.
I know.
He's got the 7-second button working.
There's no dumb bumping on this show. There's no dumb button on this show. You can't. No, it's not going to happen.
I was being facetious.
Yes, I know. We never use the dumb button on this fucking show. Excuse my French, but anyway,
Do we even have one?
No.
You sounded better when you were stuttering.
I can't even, John. There's no
We can't
audio
hear
on
you.
me
We
now. at
can't
all.
hear
There's no
anything
audio
you're
at all.
saying. You are totally muted out.
Yes, you're muted.
See what happens when you miss the show for 3 weeks?
No. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. It's all good.
He discombobulated his system, man. Come on.
He's got the same demon that I do.
Go back
Maybe.
to echo mode, man. Forget about Brett. He can handle it.
If we can handle it, he can too.
Yep. Nope. You see, he does this for a living. He does it like 27 podcasts a week. So it's
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Podcast Holiday.
Yeah, he does like 27 podcasts a week. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if today's game is going to be a slingshot for the Bolts or not. We'll wait till Ron gets here and we'll talk about it and see if it happens. But
well, they needed it badly.
Yeah. they did.
This is pissing me off. Is it working now?
Yes, it
Working,
is.
Same as before.
Yeah, it's working now.
It's
Yeah,
echo.
working,
It's
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
working now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay. One more thing. Then I'm done. Then I'm gonna totally quit. Be right back.
Okay,
Maybe.
he's gonna try one more thing and he can come back. It's not actually, Brett. It's not an echo. It's something going on with his audio that just
It's his system. Something in his system.
something in the system is causing that.
It's like a hiccup, basically.
It's like a hiccup. You're right. I like that. Like that verbiage better.
Let's just say it. It's Canada.
Yeah. Hey, okay, we'll go there. We'll do that. Miguel Andujar wanting trade from the Yankees. Brett is
Well,
asking you about it.
Miguel Andujar, I mean, he's more than welcome to ask for a trade.
Mhm.
I don't know if he'll get one,
Right.
but the thing is that, I mean, he was really hot like 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and then he suffered that injury that sat him for like a year and a half,
Mhm.
and he kind of lost his space. He lost his spot, and then Urshela took over for him at third base. Now he's
Yeah.
playing left field, but they got to platoon him with Joey Gallo. I have no idea why they even still play Joey Gallo.
I know how much you love Joey Gallo.
Oh, goddamn. I feel bad that Ron's name, Ron has the same last name.
All right. Hello. Is this better?
Hey,
yeah. It must be the microphone.
It's the computer. I'm sure I have to restart everything. But anyways.
But anyway, he lost his spot.
Yeah.
And now he has to platoon, and he doesn't like that. But here's the thing. As long as the Yankees have the best record in baseball, screw what Miguel Andujar wants. Okay? He ought to be happy that he's part of what's going on. Oops. Because eventually somebody could get hurt. They could sit Gallo if Gallo keeps hitting like he's got no bat in his hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy strikes out more than me at a nightclub these days.
You didn't see my post the other day, did you? Says the new breaking news: Joey Gallo decided to change the spelling of his name to Gallow because
Gallo. Yeah, I saw that one. I remember now. To the gallows he goes.
Yep.
But in all fairness to John and his 0-3 deficit with the Edmonton Oilers, I think it was Ron's fault when he called Connor McDavid Connor McJesus. That kind of put a hex on things, I think.
I agree.
Let's blame Ron. We'll blame him when he gets here. It's all his
fault.
Right.
When he made that McJesus reference, I mean, I understand, people putting that out there, but I know how close of a correlation John has with the Holy One himself.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of taboo when you do something like that. It totally put a whammy on the Oilers because they haven't really done much in this series. They've looked like Florida did against Tampa.
I mean, look, they really haven't. They've looked suspect. But and I hate using the excuse, but holy crap, man! Like, look at the penalty differential. Like, Edmonton has been killing penalties the entire series. I think it's like 47-20 or something like that. Wow. Like it's insanity.
Well, that hit last night didn't help either.
Well, that was bull. And then they slew foot Draisaitl. Yamamoto gets a headshot. They don't even call any of those. So, listen, I love Kadri. I'm the biggest Nazem Kadri fan in the world. He embellished that, and because he embellished it, he went in strange and messed up his arm because of it. Mm-hmm. That was a lot. That was a lot of embellishment. Was it dirty?
Not they're pointing into Evander Kane's history too, John. That's
the goalies haven't done too well. Mike Smith got lit up.
Oh, Mike Smith is just retire, bro. Go, just get a ranch in the middle of nowhere, Alberta, and call it a day.
I kind of thought, the Oilers really had a tough series against the Kings, per se. Yeah. Okay, and then when Calgary, even though they came back and just swept Calgary away after that first game. When they gave up 9 goals in that first game, I began to wonder if the Oilers had what it took to advance past somebody like Colorado. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Colorado is a scoring machine. They really are.
Exactly.
They're a complete team.
First team with Colorado ended up 8-6. It's still.
Right now, I think Colorado, in my honest opinion, even if Tampa makes it through, or the Rangers, I think Colorado's the odds-on favorite to win this whole thing.
Colorado's the one I picked from the beginning.
They just look really, really good.
They're a complete team, and in the playoffs, you need, first of all, you need goaltending, and you need defense, and that is the Achilles heel of the Oilers. It's been all year.
Mike Smith like 40 years old?
He's 41.
Yeah. 41.
Yeah, he's 3 years younger than me.
Biggest Achilles heel today for the Rangers was that they got outshot by like 20 shots on goal.
Mm-hmm.
They were constantly under pressure. I'll tell you what, Shesterkin, he's MVP material. That guy in goal.
For the Rangers.
I'm just saying he is tremendous. Without him, I don't think the Rangers are where they are today. Plain and simple.
He's not even the regular goalie.
Shesterkin?
Yeah.
Well, he came in. He came in afterwards, right? He didn't start the
He came
season.
in after the starter got injured.
Yeah.
I guess he's going to be out for this playoffs.
Well, and he's also up for MVP.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
one of the guys that's up for MVP.
He reminds me a lot. He reminds me. He and both Dallas's goalkeeper, reminding me a lot of Jean-Sébastien Giguère in 2001, was it?
I think today Vasilevsky took it personal. I think today Vasilevsky took it personal after the Rangers crowd was shouting "Igor's better" throughout the games in Madison Square Garden.
Jamal.
Hey, Jamal.
But I mean, even Shesterkin facing over 40, what was it? Almost 50 shots on goal. You know, that's just too much. The Rangers just didn't show up for defensively today. The power play didn't look good, even though they scored 2 goals on the power play. When they gave up that goal to make it 2-1, that's when I started feeling a little uneasy. You know,
Yeah, because the Bolts actually had to come back to win that game. They were down 2-1.
Well, yeah, and they've won some games in the last seconds.
Yep.
You know, which again, you need. Sometimes you need. A lot of times you need luck to win championships.
Well,
it's not all
there's
just
a lot
skill.
into it. Yes, I agree.
Okay, and because honestly, they probably should have lost to Toronto, Tampa. But again, I think the stars aligned for them as far as their playoff matchups went.
Yeah, Toronto was the tougher out.
They had Toronto, which was a perennial first round out.
Yeah.
Then they had the President's Cup champion, which is
cursed.
also
cursed
not to win a title.
Right.
You know, and now they have the Rangers, and again, it's not a done deal. But if anybody could come back from what the Rangers did after the first 2 games, it would be Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa, for all intents and purposes, Tampa should win this series.
Yeah, I agree. They're the better team. I mean, even what's his face on ESPN says that Carolina would have been a better matchup against the Lightning than the Rangers would have been.
But I don't know about that. Because you know what? The Rangers also are the team that gave up the second least goals in the season behind Carolina. And the fact is that the Rangers went out and smoked Carolina in that game 7.
Yep.
In Carolina.
Yep.
And Carolina was living on the edge the whole time because all it took was 1 loss at home. And like Ron said, the series doesn't start or you can't win a series unless you win on the road.
Right.
And in most cases, that's true. Yeah. So it's been interesting. I've been following it more than I thought I would. But I'm pretty shocked that the Oilers haven't put up more of a fight.
Well, I mean,
I have to be honest with you. I've not seen any of the Colorado Edmonton series because it's on TNT and I don't have access to TNT.
Right.
Well, I get to watch it. Like they show it. I think a replay or something overnight or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do they?
Like at the gym, they got them up on the screens and stuff.
I guess. I mean, John, I know you're disappointed in their performance. They're going, thus far.
But hey, in hockey, it's never been unheard of coming back from down 3-0. It's happened more in that sport than in any other sport.
But
you got to win 4 in a row, and 2 of those are in Colorado.
yeah, and they definitely have home ice advantage with that altitude. That's a whole different beast playing up there.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, if they can make it a series, like win a couple, maybe make it 3-2 or something.
At least 6 games or something.
Yeah, get it to 6 games. That'd be that's cool. It's for me. Listen, I mean, Draisaitl's been playing basically with a bum ankle for 2 series now. Like Nurse, I can't stand Darnell Nurse. I think it's the most overrated. Like they're paying him $9.5 million to be a pylon. Just the goaltending situation. Edmonton is a few pieces away from being a Stanley Cup contender. You have the 2 best players on the planet on one team, they're unstoppable. But the problem
They
is
need a goaltender. And
they need a goaltender,
and isn't going to do it for him. I'm sorry, he's not.
Well, it's also defense.
Yeah.
They're defensive. Like, they got a couple of kids that are, that Bouchard kid is pretty decent, but he got eaten alive with that game winner last night.
Yeah.
It's a couple pieces away. But the problem is that management, and they need to re-sign Kane. That's priority number one, I think.
By the way, he did get us a 1-game suspension, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Nathan McKinnon didn't get a single thing, and neither did the Landeskog for taking out Kyler Yamamoto, basically a headshot. It's inconsistency. Like, if you're going to – that's the thing with the NHL. Like, if you're going to call it the same. Just it's simple.
Right down the middle. Yeah.
Exactly. It's simple. It's very simple. Like, I don't think Oiler fans would have a problem with it if the other guys got suspended too for the same type of, and like the Kane thing, that wasn't like, I don't know. I mean, I love Kadri. I'm a huge Nazem Kadri fan. I love him. But he embellished that, and because he embellished it the way that he went into the boards, he got hurt because of it.
Hey, Jamal, are you an Argonauts fan?
John is speaking the truth. Jamal's on your side, John.
Let me ask you something, John.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Kane, does his reputation lead to a lot of that?
I guess. I mean, that's the thing. But like, I don't know. I like that. Like, if he's on your team, you love him. Right? It's like Nazem Kadri. If he's on your team, you love him.
Right.
Back in the day, Matthew Barnaby, if he was on your team, you loved him. You hated Darcy Tucker for the Leafs. You hated playing against him. So I think Kane is amazing. I think he's the perfect plug that they needed for that Draisaitl and McDavid kind of. They needed that winger. And
who's really impressed me on the Rangers is that Zibanejad kid.
Oh, Zibanejad is great as soon as he got out of freaking Ottawa. Then he's like, yeah, let's go. I love him.
I mean, he's killing it. He's the third behind Draisaitl and McDavid in scoring in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's great, man. He's a great kid. I'm having my keto bomb. Bomb.
I'm just glad that the Carolina Rangers got eliminated.
The Carolina Rangers.
Yeah, they had a lot of former Rangers on their team.
Former Rangers.
Especially that one guy that the fans kept booing all the time, McGregor or something. But is anybody shocked? Anybody shocked by the Celtics schooling the Warriors the other night?
I think the Warriors just freaking fell apart in the fourth quarter. I think that's what happened with that.
Well, I don't know if they fell apart, but when another team throws up it makes 9 3-pointers and they outscore you 40-16, yeah, that's kind of falling apart. I think it was more just the unconscious shooting that Boston did in that fourth quarter.
And then didn't do jack after that.
Because what was it? Three quarters the Warriors had that game in the bag.
Yeah,
dude. I saw this thing. What was it? It was the people picked in front of Jason Tatum, like Markelle Fultz, and I forget who second overall was, in that draft. But Fultz was first.
Fultz was a bust.
Yeah, and then the second guy, I forget who it was, and then Jason Tatum.
What year was the draft?
What was that? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? I think.
4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
18.
But I mean,
17 or 18.
that might go down as one of those, Michael Jordan drafts. Sam Bowie picked before Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So Elliot will find out. It's the second guy is not like a horrible player. It's just he's not Jason Tatum. All right.
Well, I've never seen anyone dominate the way that Steph did.
He was drafted in 2017.
In the second quarter,
Lonzo Ball number 2 overall?
Yes, Ball. Lonzo Ball was number 2.
Lonzo, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Lonzo Ball? Because you hear more about LaMelo than you do about Lonzo anymore.
He's in Chicago, right?
I know he's in Chicago,
Yeah,
but he's like in oblivion, basically.
Like his second or third team already, isn't he?
No, second, but
No.
I'm just
No,
saying.
third team. Lakers.
Third? Oh, yeah, he went to
Lakers,
New Orleans,
Hornets.
too.
Yeah, New Orleans, and then
He went to the Pelicans, and then he went
Or
or
to
Pelicans. I call them the Hornets.
no, yeah, the Hornets have LaMelo.
yeah, but I was thinking because the
Yeah.
franchise went from
New
Charlotte
Orleans
to-
Hornets
yeah.
when they were over there.
He's
Yeah,
the blimp. Really?
Yep.
but you know,
Thank you, Clarky.
ever since the whole thing with his dad before he went into the NBA, you know, he was always in the news because of the controversy with his father and
Oh,
whatnot.
God, he's dead.
But now he's like lost
Dad
in
was cool.
oblivion somewhere because LaMelo is just taking over. He's got that Hulu commercial, and he's just like
Well, LaMelo's thriving in Charlotte, and to be honest with you, he really is. I mean, he's turning out to be the guy, the guy on that team. Alonzo, he got more hype than his brother coming out of school.
and LaMelo's better actually.
Yes, absolutely.
He is. LaMelo,
Watching the
he be
song.
balling. I like his what do they call it? La Marshmallow or LaMelo. the Hulu commercial that he does. There's a little marshmallow with his face on it or whatever.
Brett's asking about head coaching after the Jazz's head coach resigned today. Oh, Snyder, he resigned. He says the Jazz need to be boys. You know what, Brett? I don't know enough about the NBA to comment on who the next head coach is going to be of the Utah Jazz. I'm sorry, I just don't follow the NBA that closely. It's just not.
Well, that's the trickle down of that is Donovan Mitchell is not going to be happy because that was his dude, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, the NBA is notorious for egos and I don't get my way. And I'm not saying Donovan Mitchell is like that. He's a good kid, man. But you know, the NBA, it's a me league.
Yep.
So, I'm so disgusted in the NBA these days. I don't even care. Like, when's football?
Nothing but attitude.
Nothing but attitude. Yeah, when's
96
football?
days till football season.
Well, that's all I care about. Don't care. 95, excuse me.
95, excuse me. You're right.
Yes,
Correct.
thank
Yeah,
you.
95.
Yes.
Come on, is nobody watching the USFL? The playoffs.
Oh,
are coming.
no.
Oh, CFL preseason, guys. It's happening right now.
No.
Oh, is it?
The playoffs are coming up for the USFL, man. Ain't nobody gonna tune in.
Dude, I didn't even know they
Isn't
were
New
at
Jersey like undefeated or something, like 8-0 undefeated?
Jersey. There's a team. It's called Jersey. At
The
least
Jersey
they got-
Generals.
The New Jersey Generals. Yes.
They actually did
Jersey.
something right. They actually named the football team after the state it's actually in. Wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
That was
Yeah.
That was the original.
They wanted to
name
avoid a
from
loss.
the beginning.
Well, they were the New Jersey Generals when the USFL started in the 80s too. So it's basically.
Right. Yes.
Hey, speaking of firing, Joe Girardi got shown the door in Philly.
I bet you smiled.
Yes, he did.
Oh well, you know, him and his fucking analytics. Excuse the French, but
Oh, my virgin ears.
Yeah. Okay, John.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Well, I
Surprised
mean-
that the Phillies pulled the trigger on that one so quick.
well,
But-
you know, everybody was
Phillies are
saying he
horrible.
was about to get fired. He's the one that said he ain't worried about it, and he got canned. Well, you know, hey, look, that whole division is screwed.
They
You
buried
know what I mean?
the Angel alive yesterday.
Because the
Well, the
Mets,
Mets have such a
the
stranglehold
Mets
on it
are
right now.
killing it,
The
dude.
Mets are killing it right now.
Right now, the
on
Mets have
way.
the third best record in baseball, and they're
Behind the
like
Yankees and the Dodgers.
percentage point 0.05 percentage points behind the Dodgers. So basically, they're in a virtual tie for the second best record in baseball.
Yeah.
And I mean, even with all the changes that they made, nobody really thought that they'd become that cohesive that quickly. But you got to give it to Buck Showalter. He knows how to run a fucking team. That's for sure.
Oh, Bucky.
Yep.
Hell of
It's
a nice
passed
guy.
on him to bring back Boone.
Wasn't there some obscure happening with the Mets and the Dodgers last night, or was it the night before last night, Ken? With a pitching change, controversy
There was
over a pitching
Something
change.
I can't remember what it was.
Like they had to, they wanted to put a position player on the mound,
Yeah.
but they had to be down at least 6 runs, and they were only down 5 runs in the bottom of in the ninth inning. or something like that. Yeah,
That's a rule?
yeah. If you're down 5 runs or less, you have to put an actual pitcher on the mound. If you're down by 6 runs or more, you can put a position player in there. So the Dodgers were trying to put a position player in, but they were only down 5 runs, so they actually had to put a pitcher on the mound, and they hadn't warmed up anybody.
Speaking of which, the Mets are up on the Dodgers 5-4 in the bottom of the 10th.
How many runs were the Cardinals down the other day when Pujols got in the pitch?
Oh, I think they were down.
They got blown out.
Yeah.
Then what's his name? Yadier pitched a game too. Molina.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They're putting anybody in these days.
Hey, newsflash: the Indians won today. Oh wait, they're only playing
the Guardians.
Only playing the Guardians.
Yeah, the Guardians, man. Come on, you need to be politically correct, or else we're going to cancel you.
That's like
it's
saying
still the San Diego Chargers too, guys. So anyway,
we will cancel you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You think it?
Yeah, newsflash: the Guardians won today, but it was only Baltimore. It's all good.
Hey, Baltimore shut out Boston 10-0 the other day. So
yeah, see, and it's on the show, Elliot. Here. Why did you have to bring that up? See, I mean,
I'm just saying Baltimore's not.
I mean, Ken's in misery anyway with the Red Sox this year. Don't add salt to that wound, for God's sake.
What? Just because they're 12
shut
games
out 10-0 by the Baltimore Orioles.
Hey, at least they made it back to 500.
The Orioles ain't been great since Cal Ripken was on the team, for God's sake, and that was 20 years ago.
At least the Red Sox are back at 500.
Yeah, that's something, I guess.
Orioles haven't been any good since Jeffrey Mayer picked up the ball.
Since Jeffrey Mayer. Hey, the Guardians are in second place, and they're under 500.
Yeah, well, that's how bad that division is. Come on. That division is terrible. When the Twins will reach that division, I mean, come on.
It's no worse than the freaking National League East, where the Braves are the only other team above 500, and it's by 1 game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, thanks, Brett, for that. It was clarification. Umpires, they barred Los Angeles Dodgers skipper Dave Roberts from pitching position player, then made pitcher stop warming up and come to mound. And then the pitching coach went off and got thrown out. Whatever that means.
Yeah, the Yankees are 24 games over 500? They're freaking killing it right now.
We're done. Is baseball done yet? No.
And the thing is that they're finding, and this is the thing, is when you're a good team, you find ways to win, even though you're up against it. Because they lost Stanton, they don't have Stanton in the lineup. They're having to deal with Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo and their anemic offense. It's the pitching that's been keeping them in it. They almost had 2 perfect games in a row.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
You know, today I think was when their pitching finally let them down because they only gave up, 1 hit yesterday or 2 hits yesterday?
Yeah. Let's slide into the NFL before Ron gets here. I don't know when he's coming. Let's slide into the NFL.
Slide in.
Slide now. Okay.
Frank Gore has retired, guys, official.
Really?
I signed a 1-day contract with the Niners and retired a 49er.
Didn't he win a boxing match the other day?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
that's why he retired. That's why he retired, because he won in boxing.
Yeah. I mean, Frank Gore. I mean, what more can you say about Frank Gore than he was just?
Well, you seen the meme I put up, right? With his picture and his college pictures. They're all in black and white.
Yeah.
I remember when he was in college.
And
who
was it?
What else is going on? I mean,
Alex Mack has retired. Longtime offensive lineman center. Alex
dude, how do you even mention that guy without saying Ryan Fitzpatrick retired, man?
I was getting to that too.
Alex,
who the hell?
I think Alex Mack retired because he didn't want to have to try to block for Trey Lance.
Okay. All right. Well, then now finally, the beard has retired.
Fitzmagic has gone poof.
Yes.
Right
And John, your response to my tweet, my response to Katie's tweet, man, your response to that was great. The gif of
they're holding vigil. Hey, they're holding vigil in Buffalo right now.
Yeah, the gif of Ryan Fitzpatrick at the Buffalo playoff game or whatever game it was, going crazy, shirtless, and just screaming.
He's going to be the honorary captain when they get to the Super Bowl. Wow.
Yes.
Which means probably never.
Wow, really?
And you know what? Katie asked the question, is he the greatest journeyman quarterback of all time? I don't know about that, but he was sure as hell fun to watch.
Greatest
Frickin'
journeyman?
Buffalo Bill legend.
I think it was Charlie Whitehurst. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Next
Clipboard Jesus.
No.
Clipboard Jesus.
No.
Jesus. Yeah.
No, God.
Jesus.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
I think it was Dave Vanderpump that actually brought that up first.
Yeah.
Katie responded to it.
Yeah.
Dave was one of these guys who he gets a hold of something and just won't let it go.
Hey, the Phillies are 2-0 since they fired Girardi, by the way. Excuse me.
I mean, Fitzpatrick, the amount of games that he has won, like in the last minute of a game or last seconds of a game. There's got to be tons of them out there. And I'm sorry, the dude graduated from Harvard.
Harvard.
Okay.
Harvard.
Okay.
What's wrong with Harvard?
And what does that mean?
I know.
How many quarterbacks from Harvard made it to the NFL and did as well as Fitzpatrick did? Come on.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's fair.
A lot of people come out of Harvard.
Ken, you're the football encyclopedia. Do you remember any other Harvard quarterbacks that got made it in the NFL?
I do not. Not that I can remember. I would have to ask a friend of mine because he played for Harvard.
I hear Tua's pushing back.
Yeah, Tua's pushing back on his arm strength issue. Show me, don't tell me.
And you know what? Tyreek Hill said the other day that he's pretty impressed with Tua's throwing.
Tua's actually, I think, overthrown Tyreek Hill in game, hasn't he? If that's even a possibility.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. That makes sense if he can't throw. It's a lack of accuracy.
By the way, Clarky, Cam Newton was a journeyman quarterback in college. So.
Yes, he was. Yeah. Even as the Heisman Trophy winner, he was a journeyman quarterback in college.
He's a journeyman fashionista, is what he. Cam Newton, a journeyman fashionista.
Yes.
That guy has to have the most outrageous freaking outfits. Besides, I think Dennis Rodman was only worse than Cam Newton.
Yep.
And Ron is in the green room. T.O. was pretty bad too.
He didn't have outrageous
Ron Gallo
outfits.
was in the green room, gentlemen.
Hi, Ron Gallo in the green room.
Ron needs to answer for his McJesus statement.
McJesus is McMissing.
Ouch. Well, Ron, we have John Olson with us this week.
And he's still wearing his Oilers hat regardless.
Oh yeah, dude. Our Stanley Cup was Calgary, man. We're good, man. I'm happy. Whatever.
No, we're not good. We're not good.
We are happy. Everything is great.
The Edmonton Oilers, they could. I mean, it should never go down to one play. But I honestly think that it's true. I mean, Connor McDavid opens the scoring 20 seconds in. Next shift, Evander Kane runs Nazem Kadri into the end boards, and it sucked the life out of that Rogers Arena in Edmonton. I mean, there's two players, like, I don't know. There's some people that say Nazem Kadri, not a player they'd want on their lineup. Certainly the same could be said for Evander Kane. And for those two players to have that interaction, and then that ends up becoming kind of really the momentum or the
shift.
Turning point of the shift of the game, and so early on. Like, it was odd and bizarre. And by the way, Evander Kane does get a 1-game suspension.
Yep.
So, John, I'm hoping it's certainly not the rest of the postseason for Evander Kane. But yeah, it's odd. And then you look at the other series, and you have a player like Mikko Zibanejad, who's got goals in 7 of the last 8 games. And Connor McDavid, who was absolutely on fire against the Calgary Flames, can't get a sniff. I mean, he had assists in game 1, nothing in game 2. has the one goal in game number 3. But really, the Colorado Avalanche have figured out Connor McDavid, and I think
Do you
Cal.
think? Time out. Just real quick. Do you think it's figuring it out, or do you think that they're emphasizing their defense on him?
No, one of the things that I noticed is not just the defense, but Cal McCarr, without question, is worth every penny that guy is paid. You look at him, he can skate backwards almost as fast as Connor McDavid can skate forwards. I don't know how many times I saw McCarr end up taking the puck off of McDavid's stick while skating backwards. But the defense of Connor McDavid is not left to the defenseman only. Nathan McKinnon takes that assignment with a great deal of respect. Like, he is
a dirty player. A dirty player. That's what he is. The slew foot on Draisaitl, that was as dirty as it gets. But because it's McKinnon, it's like same with Sidney Crosby throwing a guy into the boards, just like Evander Kane did. The NHL has a problem with calling things exactly the same. They can't do it.
We took care of Sidney Crosby in round 1. Trouba took care of Sidney Crosby in round 1.
Yeah. And I mean, again, like I said, like, it happens. I mean, you go back over the years and there's always been something. There's always been a player that's been targeted. And nobody will ever say that the player has been targeted, but absolutely that player's been targeted. And, you know, I don't think Craig Billington was taken out of the game because he was targeted. But I mean, at the same token, that's why the St. Louis Blues are not around right now, is because they did not have their goaltender. So many of these teams right now are relying heavily on their goaltender. And I'm going to say this, Mike Smith, I mean, 40-year-old goaltender playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You know, I watched that game closely last night, and he does not look like the same goaltender against the Calgary Flames. He looks nervous. Sorry?
Not great mathematics when you think about his age and the level of play that you're at right now.
I mean, yes, I did comment that he's 40 years old, but I mean, let's take age out of the equation. You look at Vasilevsky, you look at Shesterkin, and you know what you're seeing? You're seeing goaltenders on both sides of the ice that are very calm. They're very well positioned. They're not flopping around. They're making the saves. They're getting the gloves in the way. The players are shooting high on them. Vasilevsky's been burned, 9 times with high shots from the New York Rangers. Shesterkin has been sensational. But in all of it, those two goaltenders right now, it's a goaltenders duo out east. And they're very calm. They're very fluid. They're not sporadic. And you look at Mike Smith, and you don't get that. With Mike Smith, you've got awkward saves when the saves are happening. You've got him overreacting. You've got him moving too far coast to coast. Like, he's going from one post to the other post, and he's over. It's almost like his exaggerated movements, and you can't be like that in the NHL.
Do you think he's overwhelmed by? Do you think he's overwhelmed by the magnitude of where he's at this point?
Maybe. I mean, I think in a way it even started against Calgary. I mean, you look at some of the games. I mean, game 1 was 9-6, and they had a couple of others where, you know, the lob from inside the blue line, 100 and some odd feet down the ice, and you know, I don't know. I worry about Mike Smith, but then I've got to worry a little bit about Connor McDavid as well, because Connor McDavid has not been getting the job done. Leon Draisaitl, you're going to find out whenever Edmonton is done, whether it's after this round or after the Stanley Cup is presented in the next round, you're going to find out that Leon Draisaitl has been playing through some major injuries. It's known that he's got a lower body leg injury, but watching him play last night, I think he's got a lot more going on than just one injury. He's got a few.
Thanks to McKinnon, right?
Thanks to McKinnon. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, The slew foot, sure, the slew foot is one, but it's hard to say. And I mean, I was worried there for a long time, about 59 minutes out of the 60 minutes of the game earlier, that this show wasn't going to go on because the Tampa Bay Lightning, they just didn't seem to have an answer for the New York Rangers. And then final minute of the game, snap one high, and that's one that Igor wants back for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah. Well,
the two series are not going to be 4 and out, but I mean, let's see what happens.
I still think the Rangers are just giving up too many shots on goal.
I think so too. I mean, when they control the play and they've got the action going, whether you've got the shots on goal that turn into quality shots that result in goals, I think offensive puck zone time is huge. The amount of time that you spend in the offensive zone with control of the puck just frustrates and tires out the defending team.
Well, it also frustrates the fans watching, because every time the Lightning I'm screaming at TV, get the puck out of the zone, get it out of there. And I'm not watching these games, Ron, to be honest. I'm not watching these games because every time I watch them, they play like crap. So I'm just going to follow it on Twitter. Didn't help me the first 2 games, but maybe it helped me.
But I can relate because I'm not watching the Yankees either, and they're the best in baseball right now. So.
Yeah. So I mean, I've had my doubts about the Lightning. I mean, I'm very happy they made it this far. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. If they make the Stanley Cup Finals, it's great, but they're not going to get past Colorado.
Well, according to you, they were supposed to not get past Tampa Bay either.
Correct. So. I mean, they were supposed to get past Toronto, was where I was talking about.
Toronto, excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to say this. The New York Rangers are reminding me a lot of the Los Angeles Kings when they won the Stanley Cup a few years ago. Now, the New York Rangers have a better positioning than the Los Angeles Kings. Los Angeles Kings snuck in as the 16th team in the postseason, so they were the underdogs for every round, and they ended up winning it all. The reason why I say the New York Rangers are reminding me a little bit of the Los Angeles Kings is because their rounds keep getting a little bit progressively harder, and they're finding a way to get the job done. So when you look at their first round and the New York Rangers, Pittsburgh, that's a hard task. There's no question about it. But Pittsburgh didn't have the goaltending this year. You look at the second round, and New York is able to get the job done again. And now they're against Tampa Bay, and the level of the opponent is getting increasingly more difficult. And so when you look at the next round, I really like New York's chances if they get through Tampa Bay. I really like New York's chances to go all the way. Colorado, on the other hand, they were 4-0 against their first round opponent. The second round opponent was a little bit tougher. Now they're right back in on top of the Edmonton Oilers. So what's happening is the Colorado Avalanche are basically playing like this. And whereas New York is going up. Okay. The other thing I want you to recall is the Vegas Golden Knights make it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first season. Who's behind the bench? Same coach that's behind the New York Rangers right now.
Yeah.
So that coach is able to get a lot out of the players. And I'm not going to say the New York. Yeah. I'm not going to say the New York Rangers are a reincarnation of the Vegas Golden Knights, but let's take a close look at it. There you've got a goaltender in Shesterkin, and you could say that's Marc-Andre Fleury. Mm-hmm. You look at the kid line, 3 players under the age of 22. There's so many. There's no really huge names on the New York Rangers. There's names that are being made this season on the New York Rangers, but there weren't names coming into the season.
You compared them to the Los Angeles Kings, and I remember the Kings. Jonathan Quick had an unbelievable playoff run that year, and I think it's a very good analogy comparing him to the Kings that really won it.
And Shesterkin is right on that path too, because he is. That dude's amazing.
No, absolutely, and they've also been handing out awards throughout the postseason. The latest award, Patrice Bergeron gets the Selke Trophy. The coach from the Calgary Flames ends up getting his death certificate because he just won the Jack Adams Trophy, so he's going to end up being fired next year. Well,
that's kind of like the president stuff, right? That's kind of like the president's.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Your fate is sealed.
I have a quick question for you, Ron. I did not get to see any of this tournament, but who won the World Championship? Was it Finland or Canada?
Not Canada.
No, not Canada. No,
not Canada.
Finland won it.
Yeah. No, it's what ends up happening is, I mean, Canada and a lot of those players that show up are NHL players. They are going to play for their home country, and they just. So there's definitely it's a good little trophy, or a good little tournament. Let's put it that way. Yeah. But I mean, America got blown out in the semifinals and then Canada ends up losing next round anyways and doesn't get gold.
Did the United States end up winning the bronze, third place?
Third place. I'd have to double check. I don't actually remember.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to play Sweden.
I think it was Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was just trying to flip over and catch some of the NBA. What game is this in the NBA?
It's game 2. The Celtics and the Warriors. It's the
it's game NBA 2 right now. Yeah, game 2.
Okay.
Game 2 of NBA Finals.
Yeah. Good start. Fast start.
Yeah, I think it was 16-11 or something like that.
It's 16-11.
Yep.
Who's got Seth Curry?
Golden State?
No. Like, who's got Seth Curry? Like, is it going to be
starting? You mean
Warriors?
Seth Curry? Sorry, Seth Curry is
Steph. It's Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Well, no, there's Seth too.
Yeah, Seth was with Brooklyn.
Yes.
Right.
The team Elliott loves to hate.
Oh, I can't stand Brooklyn either, man. Don't make it only on.
Hey, have you heard the latest that they're talking about Durant wants to go play in Memphis?
Oh God, he's just freaking chasing a ring? Is all he's doing, Elliott?
Hey, you get that in every league. I'll say that right now.
Yes.
And he says that he regrets leaving Golden State because he could have won more championships with them.
Now that you bring that up, I was going to ask you about Kyle Lowry because he did the same damn thing after joining the Miami Heat. When the Heat got ousted, one of the first things he says is this was a complete waste of a season.
Well, he got injured. He got injured too, so he can't really say much about that. He came into the last round injured, and he didn't really contribute the way he did with Toronto. Plus, I don't think Toronto wanted to pay him big bucks as he starts getting long in the tooth, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They wanted him to go wherever he wanted to go, and he went to Miami.
And he chose to go to Miami.
Because him and Butler are buddies, right? So
So he made his bed, and now he doesn't want to lay in it.
No, and that's my comment, right?
And his buddy is the one that threw up the brick.
Hold on.
And his
there shall be no Kyle Lowry slander on this show. Excuse me. I must change hats.
Just like there's no Mitch Trubisky slander on this show either.
No Mitch Trubisky slander and no Kyle Lowry slander. Okay.
I'm not trying not to.
Well, it was his best buddy that threw up the brick when they should have tried to tie
I
the
know.
That Butler shot was ridiculous.
You can't make that comment and then expect to be with the same team again for the next season.
He'll go somewhere else, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know he will. But I mean, he's basically signed his walking papers.
Pretty much.
I think it was just a 1-year deal. I think it was.
If that's the kind of comment you make, chances are you're not coming back. But hey, you know what? Like I said, I'm sorry, but you can't put Kyle Lowry in the same category as Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's a douchebag. Okay. And it was funny. I put up a meme the other day that him and Irving wanted to be traded to play together, and
Yeah.
the teams they left made it to the NBA Finals.
How about that?
You know what I'm
Karma
saying?
wins
So,
again.
karma is a motherfucker.
Always has
Karma is mofo.
Yep. And they
Always
got plenty
has.
of it. Because now the Brooklyn Nets don't even want Kyrie Irving back.
New Jersey.
And Durant
Nobody
said
wants
if they don't re-sign Kyrie, he's leaving.
Yeah, good. That failed experiment. You want to know why? Because as soon as they saw they couldn't go toe-to-toe with Boston, they have no chance. They're done. They're gone. Because these
They
guys,
couldn't
it's
go
an
toe-to-toe
ego
with
league.
Boston. They couldn't go toe-to-toe with Philly. They couldn't go
No.
toe-to-toe with any of the quality
Shit,
teams.
man. Even with us, they can't go toe-to-toe against us, man. And we got a bunch of rookie of the year, and that's
they
it.
couldn't
On
go
our
toe-to-toe. They couldn't go toe-to-toe with the Knicks, for God's sake. Give me a break.
Well, I don't know about that too. I think, yeah. Knicks don't go toe-to-toe with too many good teams. So. But no, Brooklyn, like I said, it was just another failed experiment. You know, that's why James Harden was pretty happy to leave. Even though
Did you see that? I think it was a meme where it was like, what? Remember when like Brooklyn traded Boston? They got Durant and Pierce and all that. The haul that was Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and then a whole bunch of other picks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brooklyn got hosed. Like,
well, I mean, come on, man.
The robbery.
Yeah.
Brooklyn's got started with Jay-Z. He got ousted by a Russian. Okay. Come on now.
Yeah.
That team's been a debacle ever since it moved from Jersey. It should have just stayed in Jersey where
stayed
it was.
in the swamp, man. Just stay there.
Exactly.
Yeah, you put a
Become radioactive.
Yeah, become radioactive. You might have a chance to win. You know, you touch someone, you foul out. You know?
I kind of think that team was poo-pooed ever since they left New York when they played in Long Island.
As soon
When
as
they were the
Kenny
New York
Anderson
Nets,
played with them.
When they were the New York Nets, you know what I'm saying? And they left Long Island, they left Uniondale, the Nassau Coliseum.
That's when they were in the ABA, though.
And they went to play into the colostomy bag that is New Jersey.
A colostomy bag.
Yeah, they're New York colostomy bag.
Should have called them the New Jersey Sopranos.
That's where the shit rolls down from New York.
So, Ron, let me ask you this question. Do you think the Lightning have a chance to come back and win this series?
Oh, any team does. I mean, you've had teams come back from 3-0 deficits, and certainly being down 2-1, you're not out of the series yet.
Right.
No.
This is.
Well, this had to have been a big boost for the Lightning today. That win today had to be a big motivator for them too, because
it's going to be. I mean, the difference right now between Tampa Bay and Edmonton, teams that are on the wrong side of the series, if you will. The Tampa Bay Lightning still have faith, still have belief, still have a lot of stuff. I mean, when the only chink in the armor, well, that's just it. When the only chink in the armor is that you've only didn't win your first game after a loss is
since 2019.
In 18 tries.
18 tries. That's the only chink in the armor right now. You look at Edmonton, though, and to me, today, it's the day after. That doesn't matter. Look at the bench in the last minute of play, and you look at the Edmonton Oilers, and they're not talking to one another. They're kind of cursing in the air. They've got there's no desire. The life has gone out of their eyes.
Yeah.
Now, you listen to them today, and of course, they're saying all the right things. But to me, Colorado has gotten underneath the skin of the Edmonton Oilers, and the Edmonton Oilers are trying to figure out how to get this done. Today,
here's the question. Here's the question that Scott should have asked: is Game 4 a must-win for Tampa Bay?
That's a good question.
Again, I don't think it's a must-win, but they are heading back to New York, and you don't want to go down in the series. Yeah, you don't want to be down in the series 3-1 going into the enemy's
and then have to win 3 games with 2 of those being in New York.
Yeah, no, it's Tampa Bay. It's as close to a must-win as you're going to get, so that you can change the series to a best out of 3. Edmonton, without question, their season is on the line tomorrow night. This is
I-
it.
I want to find the stats
Go ahead,
for this. I want to find the stats for this. I want to see what the amount of penalties that the Avalanche have had to deal with compared to what the Edmonton Oilers have got to deal with. I think it was like 2-1.
How lopsided are the penalties?
Very lopsided, extremely. And listen, I'm not trying to say that refs are ruining the game, but when you no, dude, like seriously,
Nobody's
like,
ever said that.
look, okay, the guy took like Landeskog is probably one of the dirtiest players in the league that never gets talked about. This guy, first of all, takes out Draisaitl. No, not Draisaitl. Sorry, he took out Yamamoto with a headshot. Where's the NHL player safety? Nothing. Not even a 2-minute call. Nothing. Not a peep from them. Yamamoto's out. He's not going to play tomorrow. Gone. Finished. Just like Kadri. Gone. Not in the game anymore. What happens with the slew foot? Totally slew foot. McKinnon. He's the darling. They're not going to kick him out. There was a game earlier this year where Connor McDavid, the star of the league, the Michael Jordan of the NHL right now, got the exact same treatment that Kadri did. Wasn't even a 2-minute penalty. Went into the boards like head first in the corner. There's no consistency. That's all NHL fans want. They just want every game to be called the exact same, and it never is.
Every sport.
Never is. Yeah, any sport is true, and it's just it's pathetic because it's ruining it. And this was all built up to be McKinnon versus McDavid, and yeah, Colorado's a superior team. I can admit it, but let's see it. Let's see it called
on a level
even.
field. On
yeah,
a level,
just play it even, like
a level playing surface.
When's football start? 95 days. That's all that matters. So, just whatever, man.
I am going to say this. The NHL tried very, very hard to make the NHL a sport that people will recognize in the United States. So to speak to what John was saying, when there's no consistency, a fan that's blossoming, that's coming into the sport and trying to like it, enjoy it, will see something happen and it's not called consistently across the board.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can go back to game one, and I don't want to bring up the whole offside issue, but here's a prime example. When is a play offside? When a player on your team enters the offensive zone before the puck.
Before the puck.
Simple, right? Makes sense. Now continue, because I know what you're going to say next.
Yeah. Now, however, the gray area is if you're not in possession of the puck, you're allowed to follow it in as long as you don't go in before the player that's offside comes back onside, back across the blue line. Then you can touch the puck. That puck in game number 1, I don't care what camera angle you look at it, was pushed by the player, pushed to no more than 4 inches away from his stick, and they called that onside.
Onside. Yeah. Stupidity.
A player was trapped in the offensive zone, was able to skate out and get both of his feet over the blue line before Cale Makar skated across the blue line, fired the puck, and beat Mike Smith. It's one goal in a lot of goals scored in that game. Like, don't get me wrong, but what I'm trying to say here,
it's a turning point, though.
It's a turning point, but it's the rule for a fan that's trying to understand the game. How do you make that onside based on the definition when you've got gray area words in the definition? So
Ron
goes, what am I?
So they were saying he didn't have control of the puck when before the player.
He didn't have possession. He had control. He didn't have possession.
He had control, but he didn't have possession.
But he's the guy that pushed the puck ahead of himself in the first place.
This is the point that I'm going to make, Ron, that you made. I would say that is the series, that call, because what happened? Woodcroft goes and challenges it. What happens? So the goal counts, and then they go on the power play, they score again. So all of a sudden, it's gone. Like that game, even though they came back and it was like tight, that I think that was the series, because it was just like you're playing again. And I'm not trying to be conspiracy theory here, and I'm sorry to all the Americans up here, but in Canada, we have a very valid reason for saying the NHL wants. They don't care if Edmonton they want Colorado against Tampa Bay or Colorado against New York. They don't necessarily are going to make decisions in Edmonton's favor. So this is what's so frustrating for us. It's like we just want to just even it. If the superior team, which I think Colorado still is superior as a team, but like let's see it, let's play it out instead of these stupid calls that just ruin the games. And
That's
okay.
Right. You'll see it in players too in post games when they talk about the frustration of calls. And that's the other thing. I mean, it's no different in any sport. You're not allowed to badmouth the officiating, but you'll see players say, I had that identical hit and it was ruled clean 3 times in a row. On the 4th one, a different official decided that it was a penalty. I argue it, and then I get a misconduct.
Yep.
Right? So then you end up losing a player for 12 minutes. And I mean, whether it happens at the beginning of the game, middle of the game, or the end of the game, I mean, that's the level of frustration. And sometimes it's the officiating that brings that level of frustration out. But
sometimes,
yeah. My point is, they what did they do in baseball? They brought in video review. I don't know if there's specific plays that are exempt from video review, but there's a lot of plays in the NHL that are exempt from video review.
No, there's some in baseball, there's some in basketball.
There's some
Look, I look at it this way. If you're going to bring in instant replay, okay, as a determining factor in the competition, then everything should be reviewable. Everything. Because
if you have everything reviewable, then games are going to go on 6 hours.
Well, but technology it almost calls for it. You either do it or you don't.
They look at it with a fine tooth comb. They take 10
and that's not the way it's supposed to be.
I know, but that's the way it does.
You know?
Yeah.
Then do away with it, because you know what?
If you instant replay for everything, then like Ken said, number one, the games are going to go on.
Look, instant replay to me, bottom line is a do it completely or don't do it at all. Okay, there's no in between. There's no gray area. Okay, if you're gonna have instant replay, make everything reviewable and hold shit accountable. Okay, even if it's a matter of challenges and stuff. I don't know how they're doing it these days. Okay, but the bottom line is that one play may not turn the game because replay got it right, but another aspect could turn the game because we couldn't review it.
It's notorious in the NFL too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's all over.
What's reviewable and what's not.
Look, it's like people say, if the technology is there, you either use it 100% or you don't use it at all.
Well,
you can evaluate every single play, and yes, if it takes forever, it takes forever, but at least you get it right.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
isn't that the whole objective of having instant replay? Is to get it right?
Yes.
It is. It is okay. Like, I'll come back.
I understand the argument. I understand the argument about it. Adding length to the game. I understand that argument. But if that's the argument that it's going to be, then take the instant replay out.
Okay, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to bring it back to baseball. 2 things. First of all, the goal judge, all he does is flick a switch. He's not needed. The referee never consults the goal judge. Years ago, the goal judge was actually an off-ice official, and he would have say as to whether or not he felt that puck was in. It would be his say over somebody else's. If he turned on that light, the referee would have to go and talk to him and acknowledge why the light was turned on, because I saw the puck go in. It's a goal. Nowadays, the referee never consults that goal judge. They immediately go to the timekeeper's box and they review it through video. So you still have a goal judge that flicks a switch, but he's only there to flick a switch. He does nothing else. In baseball, let's take this back to baseball. Before I do, my other thought was this. I honestly feel there are 4 officials on the ice in the game of NHL, not just to make the plays, but to make sure that if the players come together, the officials can get in there and separate them.
Yeah.
Now, baseball, home plate umpire. You now have a very clear, defined strike zone.
And they still get it wrong.
Yeah, and they get it wrong. So how much longer until the home plate umpire is never consulted anymore?
Oh, it's happening now. The technology they're creating technology right now to
It's in the
have
minors. It's in the minors.
called
Right.
balls and strikes electronically. It's kind of like with the pitcher and catcher now, with the signals between the pitcher and the catcher. They have an electronic unit that actually speaks the catcher pushes the button and it tells the pitcher in an earpiece or whatever if it's a curveball, fastball, whatever. Okay,
Right.
that way they can't steal signs anymore. The technology is being put in place, but again, when it comes to technology, it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
You're
So I
taking the
guess
human
my point
factor out of
is the
everything.
is the umpire left in the game nowadays to make sure that there isn't an altercation at home plate?
Well,
You know,
let's be honest; those guys are not the physical specimens of the
Yeah,
world.
no.
And
They're not
if
breaking up shit.
if a couple of
geez.
pro
Where-
athletes
where-
decide to throw
where-
fists,
Where are
John
the
Meehan
umpires?
can be an
Hey,
umpire.
where are the
Yeah,
umpires
yeah,
when the
yeah.
bench is clear?
yeah,
You can't
I don't
see
see them. I don't see them when the bench is
I
clear.
see the ump getting out of the freaking way.
That's what they do. Yeah,
in
got
hockey,
news
the
for you.
lines.
specimen.
Ken Kaiser didn't back away from a fight.
Yeah, no, in hockey, those
Yeah, but he was
linesmen
pretty
would be
tall,
right
wasn't
there in the
he?
middle.
Oh yeah.
You guys
Ray
ever remember
Scapanello,
Mike Berry
man.
with the shoe? You ever guys
Oh,
remember
yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Bilberry with the shoe in the stands? There was a linesman trying to get him.
Hockey's a different breed of
Yeah,
official.
and this
Well,
is
you
what
actually have to
kills
be
me.
in
It's like
shape to be a hockey official, Ron. You don't have to
Exactly.
be
You
in
don't
shape
have to
to
be in
be
you
a
don't
shape.
need to do nothing to
Exactly.
be an ump. Just sit there and go.
No.
"Strike."
That's what I was seeing in the end of the first game between Tampa Bay and New York. That fight, those 2 or 3 fights going on at the same time.
And in baseball, umps stick around as long as members of Congress do here in the United States.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
There's no term limit or weight limit for that matter.
John,
Oh, I knew it was going political. It had to go political.
Easy, bring
John,
it
I
down,
can-
bring it down, bring it down.
Yeah.
Went to
John,
a fight
I
and
can
the hockey game
sympathize
broke
with
out.
you.
Yeah,
You say
exactly.
that
Yeah, but give it this much. Do you know what? Today, there's a lot less fighting in hockey than there used to be.
And it sucks.
100%.
And it sucks. Let's see the fighting come back. It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
I will say that there was a transition period where there was a lot of like unnecessary crap that was going on and hockey players were getting injured because there was no fights. That has also started to wane, but we are still seeing players getting run into the end boards. We're still seeing some big, and then there's
Ron,
no accountability.
I miss the
Can I ask you
days.
a question,
I miss
Ron?
the days of the Broad Street bullies.
Yeah.
And
Would that happen to Connor McDavid if Dave Semenko was still around?
no.
No.
You know?
There's guys
when-
like Semenko.
Self-police.
Remember the Philly Dave Schultz? I mean,
Mhm.
The
you
Broad
went,
Street
you,
bullies,
if you
you
went after
couldn't
Bobby
do it.
Clark, if you went after Bobby
Yeah.
Clark, Schultz was on your ass.
And that's what
Okay.
made the NHL so good because it was self-policed and there was a
They
code.
had an enforcer. Everybody
I'm not
had an
trying to be
enforcer.
Don Cherry here, okay? But seriously, it was there. You didn't have the guys running into the boards. You didn't have head injuries. You didn't have any of this dirty crap because there was no repercussions.
I mean,
now
back in the day, they didn't fucking wear helmets.
Yeah. Ron Duguay.
Yeah.
No.
Bobby Nystrom,
Yeah.
with the flowing locks. You know what I'm saying?
Guy Lafleur, rest in peace, Flo.
They played like men back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
We're showing
Yeah,
our
and-
age, guys.
I know.
Guy
Yeah.
Lafleur would have a beer and a smoke in the dressing room between periods.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, it's just,
yeah.
did we talk about the Rangers yet? Absolutely.
Well, no, he's talking about something
Yeah.
about addressing Lightning.
Addressing Lightning's Igor Shesterkin. What was going on with Shesterkin? I didn't know.
Yeah,
this
what are
was
you talking about? First of all, he's not with the Lightning.
No.
Yeah, that's the
Vasilevsky
Rangers.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Brad. Not
Hey,
entirely
Brad,
sure.
put up a comment that makes a
Dude,
little bit
he's-
more, things more clarity.
He's so in love with Patrick Mahomes' performance on the match last week.
Right.
So that's what he's.
Oh yeah, and they lost, by the way.
Yeah, they
They
lost.
lost.
Yeah, the old guys beat the
The
young
old
guys.
timers.
Power to
It's
the
okay.
old timers.
It's okay.
Hey, I will say this. about Shesterkin. Okay, you've got forwards that are defensive minded, and you have defensemen who are offensive minded. Igor Shesterkin reminds me of a goaltender who is highly offensive in nature. He will move that puck better than most goaltenders in the league right now.
Hey, he's a better stick handler than most of the regular players. Gerard Gallant is unhappy with the Lightning's treatment of goaltender Igor Shesterkin.
He's got to let it go. You know what? You lose one game in the last minute. He's got to let it go. He's got to get his team refocused. You can't.
Yeah, that's
there wasn't enough going on. There wasn't enough. He's talking about the high hits and the rubbing of the goaltenders into the crossbar. To be fair, it happened on both sides, but 100%, Brett, I know what you're talking about, but you're going to make it. I don't think the New York Rangers need to think about that. I think that they need to go back to their game. I think that they
business
just
at
need
hand,
to focus. Yep. Yeah. If you get hung up too much in what happened in a game ago or 2 games ago, it's the wrong sort of locker room fodder. It's the wrong distraction. It's not going to solve any problems. And you saw it with St. Louis. You saw it with St. Louis with Nazem Kadri ran Billington. And the very next game, Nazem Kadri had a bullseye on his back. Everybody was targeting him. St. Louis didn't play the game. They were playing Kadri, and Kadri still scores a hat trick. It's the reason why St. Louis lost, not just that game, but lost the series, is because St. Louis lost the focus of what they were supposed to be doing. And they're supposed to be playing hockey. They're supposed to be winning. And New York Rangers
need to
move forward.
The Rangers were this close to going up 3-0 today.
100%.
It wasn't. It was close enough to where they could have gone up 3-0. That game probably should have gone into overtime, and who knows what would have happened then. But the bottom line is that you can't sidetrack the purpose of what the Rangers have done so far. And like Ron said, locker room fodder, that can mess with the psyche of the entire team. Because they're going to start saying, oh, yeah, they're not being fair with our goalie. You know what? Play the game.
That's just noise. Get it out of your head.
Worry about that stuff, that outer shit later. You could talk about that when the series is over.
Because that loses focus on the series. It loses your focus on the game itself, and you won't. And look, it won't be as focused when you're
as bad as I think the Rangers played today. They barely lost.
Exactly.
Okay, so they got nothing to be concerned with. They could easily come out and win the next game and then finish off Tampa in game 5.
Absolutely.
Go Rangers.
Until Messier shows up, and then I'll be cheering for Tampa Bay. I keep Messier in the background, keep him away from the microphone.
Messier is on the ESPN analyst team between periods. That's where he's at.
Yeah. Well, I'm not watching ESPN. I just it's the only reason why I don't know.
You don't like Messier, Ron? What's wrong with Messier?
Don't like the Moose.
That's 80s grumpiness right there.
100%.
100%. That's absolute dynasty of the Edmonton Oilers.
That's flashback focus.
No, absolutely. It's
there's some Oiler hate going on here, John. Is that what it is? Because Montreal got hurt. Is that what it is?
Look, Mark Messier in the number
evidence. Okay, he's a Montreal Canadiens fan.
Yes,
and he lives in British Columbia.
Right, which means he should be a Vancouver fan, but that's okay.
He should be a Canucks fan, but that means he hates the Oilers and the Flames, and it means he hates anything outside of Quebec.
Yep.
It's weird, but it's wrong. Yeah. And that's why we love him.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true. And I mean, like my obviously my loyalties will always be with the Montreal Canadiens, but there's other teams that I cheer for. But I have found myself growing a little bit of an affinity for the New York Rangers. I do want to see them do extremely well, but if Messier ruins it for them, then
Thank you.
I just think a good
Hey,
healthy
listen, if it
NHL
wasn't-
has a really good Rangers team.
If it
I
wasn't for
think that's
Messier,
great
we
for
would
the
have
NHL.
gone. We'd be at 81 years without a cup right now.
Yeah.
Hey, what's it like,
94
Toronto
wouldn't have
fans?
happened. You know what I'm saying?
I'm no longer a Leafs fan, so I'm allowed to like poke fun at them because I've been a fan for 45
If
years.
Messier doesn't join us in '94,
John's no
we're
longer a
81
Leafs fan.
years
Like I'm no
without a
longer
cup.
a Bucks fan, right, John?
If they start winning, if they
There you go.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, let's be honest. I'll be the first one down on Young Street, like partying. Like, let's go, let's get it done. But I'm Oilers.
The perfect
ride or die.
analogy for this show.
Or I'm Oilers ride or die, man. But I've always been Oilers.
By the way, the Messier thing goes a little bit deeper. It actually goes, for me, it goes back to when he was traded to the Vancouver Canucks, and it ended up resulting in Trevor Linden being traded away, losing the captaincy first and then being traded away. And then Mark Messier had some kind of a sweet-ass deal where I think he's still being paid by the Vancouver Canucks to this day.
Did he earn it?
Bobby Bonilla.
Did he
Is he
earn
Bobby
it?
Bonilla of the NHL?
Easy.
Yeah.
Did he earn it?
Oh, no, he did not earn it. Not
Not
at all.
Vancouver,
No?
he didn't.
No,
No.
that was
No.
weird.
Right.
That was
Neither
like when
did Bob-
Matt's
that's right.
son
He
Neither
deserves
did
it.
Bobby Bonilla. He didn't earn it either.
Hey,
but that's
he
okay.
deserves it more than Bobby Bonilla. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I think there's two players, neither one of them are playing anymore, that are still being paid by the Vancouver
Yeah,
Canucks. Mark Messier and Roberto Luongo.
The Luongo.
Strombone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh gosh, that's great stuff.
Alrighty.
So the conference final should be wrapped up by next Sunday. So we'll be talking Stanley Cup final next Sunday, Ron.
Should be, yeah. I mean, it's hard to
Yeah,
say.
but
Game
they
number
have a
4
specific date that they start, no matter when these series end.
game number
They always
4
have a
is
specific date.
yeah, they might not have a date yet though, because if you don't want teams to be sitting for too long, right? So Sunday is game number 7 for the Oilers and the Avalanche, and June 14th, which is obviously after the Sunday, is game
That's a
number
Tuesday.
7 for the
That's a
Lightning
Tuesday.
and the
Yeah.
Rangers. Yeah, so it could be Stanley Cup could take until June 16th before it
I
starts.
think the start date is like the 18th of June is what they've got as
Yeah.
start date for the finals.
But I mean, I
Because-
know that you can change up stadium dates and everything else and make things work. I'd be surprised if Colorado ends up sweeping Edmonton and New York ends up getting it in 5. If they go to 6 games, being the 10th, that's still a week.
Yeah, they can move them up, I would think.
Yeah, I think that they'll try and move them up if it ends before the weekend. If it ends
You're
on
hoping.
Thursday, June the 9th.
Otherwise, we may be going into July.
Well, I mean, that's not
I guess
unheard of,
7 games.
especially during COVID times. Last
Well,
year it was
that's true.
August.
It's true.
So, no, but like I said, like right now, the Eastern Conference, the for sure game is obviously game number 4 and game number 5 on June the 9th.
Right.
And right now, the only one that's for sure is tomorrow night. And then if Edmonton does win, we go back and
They'll win.
go back to Colorado and
guarantee a
play
win.
Wednesday.
Guaranteed win night tomorrow.
I think so. I mean, it's got to be.
Missy,
But
I guarantee.
like you said, though, John, it's going to be tough. I mean, Evander Kane is got some great playoff numbers with the Edmonton Oilers this postseason. Yamamoto has been solid on that line with Draisaitl and
Oh, yeah,
McDavid.
it is. Yep.
So, I mean, essentially, you don't have, if you were missing one of them, you'd still have a nice, good line because you'd move Evander Kane up and play with McDavid, but you don't have either one of them. So you're going to have a winger for McDavid that probably hasn't played that position for very much. So it could be a little bit on the tough side. But they have to stay focused. They have to stay disciplined. They need to make sure that they're physical, but not overly physical. They can't play the Evander Kane style game especially in the first couple of minutes, because you've got to get the fans both inside and outside that arena into the game. And the fans in Edmonton can turn this around for Edmonton versus the Colorado Avalanche. But
again, in hockey, it's never been unheard of coming back from a 3-0 deficit. It's happened more in sport than it has in either baseball or basketball.
Oilers aren't coming back, guys. Let's be honest. They're not coming back. If we make it a 6 or 5 game series,
the odds are highly against you on that one.
Yeah. The problem with me, again, and I said it at the beginning of my segment, is that Connor McDavid has been missing in action. He's got 1 goal in 3 games.
2 points,
yes.
Right?
He's got a couple of assists from game number 1. But so I mean, he was on a 2.4 something average up to the end of the Calgary Flames series.
Well, he had 27. Points. He had 27 after the Calgary, and now he has 30.
That's right, because he's got 2 assists and 1 goal.
Draisaitl is at 28, and I think Zibanejad is at 24.
Well, Zibanejad's in the other series, and Zibanejad, that was the other thing that I was going to say. Maybe I already did. I don't know, getting old. But Connor McDavid has been shut down by the Colorado Avalanche. The Tampa Bay Lightning have still not shut down Kreider and Zibanejad. And right now, if those two can continue firing, Tampa Bay is in tough.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm not overly thrilled with the performance.
They've had a good run.
Yeah,
but I am very proud of the run they've had the last 3 years. I mean, you got to give them
Don't believe him. It's reverse psychology.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't write your thank you cards just yet, Scott. Like, no. I mean, Tampa Bay is not out of this series. It's not a must win.
They're not by any means.
Now they might be if they lose game 4.
I don't see them getting past Colorado, to be honest. If Colorado's their opponent in the finals, because Colorado is just too good. But
yeah,
and don't forget. I made a comment on my blog this week about how, and I said it on the show last week and the last couple of weeks. The Lightning are tired. They've played 2 full seasons, including playoffs and Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, but they had
I think they're just.
It's not like they haven't had an off season.
Yeah, but they've had short off seasons.
Short off seasons, yeah.
I don't know. I don't subscribe to that.
I don't buy into that
much these days. Maybe years ago, I don't buy into it.
And the Islanders won 4 in a row. When that stretch back in the '80s. So I mean,
exactly.
Edmonton. So did Edmonton. Edmonton won 4 in a row at one point.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that. That unfortunately, that's an excuse that's made for a team that can't win. And that's why I'm saying don't write your thank you cards yet, because Tampa Bay's not out of it. Even if they do lose on Tuesday night, they're still not out of it. But it'll be a very tough.
Even if they lose this series, fatigue has nothing to do with it, because they say they've had the same off time. You know what I'm saying? That everybody else, they're not the same team, is what it is.
No, they're not. They're not.
Their roster's different than what it was last year. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, they might be suffering a little bit too, because they don't have Braden Point in their lineup.
Yeah, the loss of Braden Point has really hurt this. Has really hurt them. It really has.
You know what I'm saying? So there's factors other than the fact that they've played 2 straight Stanley Cup. You know,
injuries play a big part of it. You're right.
Yeah. So,
but all right, Ron, thanks again for your participation this week.
And Shesterkin, and Vasilevsky really didn't look like Vasilevsky in the first 2 games.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I think Tampa Bay actually even said it. They said that they now know what it feels like to play against Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
Right? Because they are now facing the task of having to play a hot goaltender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A very skilled goaltender.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
All right,
gentlemen.
It looks like
football season's 95 days away. Woo!
Yep.
It'll be 88 by the time we get together next week.
Yeah, and mandatory mini camps are this week and next week. So, and then all of a sudden they're going to shut it down until the end of July. So, We're gonna have to scrape the bottom of the barrel to find some kind of NFL news in the next 8 weeks.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Scrape the bottom of the barrel. We always find something to talk
We always
about.
find something going on.
Hey, guys,
You know,
start
Scott's
studying
the
up.
biggest. Hey, Ron, Scott's the biggest pessimist when it comes to what are we going to talk about for 90 minutes. He's done
You
that
guys
so
gotta
many
start
times
studying up on the CFL. Come on,
Yeah,
football's already
CFL.
underway.
No.
You know what
Yeah.
we can talk about, Scott?
because
We can talk
Jamal's an
about
Argonauts fan.
how freaking great the new Star Trek series is. That's what we can talk about. That's what we can talk about.
Have you been watching it, John?
Strange New Worlds is brilliant.
Oh my
A+.
God, it's so good. It is so
A+.
good.
They
Yeah.
finally got it. They
Yes.
got rid of all that stupid woke crap from
I'll be-
Discovery.
hey,
and
I'll be paying as close attention to that as you do to baseball, John.
And you know what, John? For those that have not seen it, Top Gun Maverick was a phenomenal film.
Oh,
I
man,
gotta
it
see
was
it, yeah.
amazing.
yeah, I gotta see it.
Amazing.
It was
and if
just,
and if you
oh.
don't see it on big screen, you're cheating yourself.
you got to go see it on a big screen. I mean, you got to, because it is just amazing.
You are cheating yourself of an
Yes.
amazing, amazing spectacle.
Yes. Top Gun
2
Maverick
years.
is as good as, if not better than the original.
36 years.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I would hope so because the technology.
No. But that's just
Now,
it, Elliot. They
compared to
didn't use
36 years
CGI.
ago.
They didn't use technology. That
No,
was
I
all
know
live
they
action
used
shit.
all the equipment they used was actually rented from the government.
Yeah, and it was all live action. There was no CGI.
No, I
all.
understand that, but I'm talking about the technology of the equipment, the planes, and
cameras?
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean that one plane in the beginning with the Mach
That's probably
10.
CGI. That's probably CGI.
I'm just saying, dude. Tom Cruise came on before the show, and he did a little monologue before the show, before the movie.
Yep.
And explained that all the scenes were live. The planes and stuff was stuff that was borrowed or rented from the.
They charged $11,000 an hour to rent those planes.
Yeah,
Good.
and it's
Tom Cruise wasn't allowed to touch the controls.
dude,
once.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up for one more week, and we'll be back again next Sunday night, 7:30 Eastern Time. Thanks again. Big thanks to Mr. Ron Gallo for joining us for Hockey Talk every week during the playoffs. And
Hey, Ron, we're 30 days away from the Tour de France.
Yeah,
Oh,
God.
boy.
Yes.
Yeah, only Ken and Ron care about the Tour de France. I'm sorry, nobody else does.
Okay.
Speaking of the guy who takes a week off of work to watch the Masters every year.
Yes, I do.
Like,
Yes, I do.
don't criticize people's passions, sir.
And congratulations
national
to Billy
man,
Horschel
Mr.
for winning. Congratulations to Billy Horschel for winning the Memorial Tournament today, by the way.
And stop hedging your bets when it comes to Tampa. You're already claiming that they're too tired to win. So
Oh, stop.
that way, if they lose, you got an built-in excuse. Right?
Such a diehard fan you
Why is
are.
the host getting bad? Okay, I'll take the beating.
He's
It's
hedging
called-
his bets, man. If they win, he's going to be the loudest bloviator on the planet.
I'll be worse than Tony
And if
DeNoso
they
getting laid the
lose,
night before.
and if they lose, he'll be like, "Oh, they were just tired."
No, whatever. Yeah, you know what, Elliot? We have an age-old saying on this show. Go fuck yourself. Anyway.
Oh,
That's all right. At least I'm getting some action.
Yeah, it's because that's good. Wow. Wow.
You guys okay at that age? Like, you guys still good, or yeah? No.
Hey, that's why I go to the
works,
gym.
John.
I get all the action I want.
The plumbing still works, John.
On the
Yes,
equipment.
Okay, just I'm worried about you guys. I know Ron is a picture of health here.
Well, not so much. I know.
Hey, the host still goes.
Yep.
got my cycling jersey on.
That one, Ken. The
Look at the guns
goes.
these days. Look at the guns these days.
Look
Okay?
at this guy.
The hose still goes. We're gonna remember that one, Ken.
Gotta
Thank you
remember
very
that.
much.
You're welcome.
Still goes.
All right. On behalf of my co-hosts, Ken Costello, Elliot Big E Lama, and Mr. John G. Olson from Bill's Mafia, and of course,
Yours Mafia.
our special
Signing
guest,
off.
Ron Gallo. I am the Sports Nerd. We are here every Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on your Facebook, on your Vim.tv,
On your Twitter.
And we are also on, I will be loading this and uploading this to Spotify. We have a podcast, believe it or not. I send that every week. So we'll be doing that as well.
Believe it or not, he says.
Right.
And when I figure out the configuration of Facebook now, because they changed the whole.
Mine still has not changed, Elliot. You're the only one.
It hasn't, but you know what? Is anybody else getting the Facebook where the group page, the picture of the group page is up on the left-hand corner?
Nope.
Bro, I hate Facebook. I don't pay attention to Facebook.
I am, and I can't judge what the pixelation is or the measurements, so I can't really change anything.
My button
But I'll
for
figure it out.
groups
I'll figure
disappeared on my phone.
Yeah. All right, guys. On behalf again of my co-hosts, we are out for one more week. We'll be here next week again at 7:30 p.m. And on that note, Elliot, please play the outro.
Okay.
Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books that we're actually still alive to tell about. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? John Olson, Ken Coslow, two of our Level 1 members in the Brand Pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk today. So until next Sunday night, we want to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for heaven's sake, please wear a blessed mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Rank Pack. And Cat Fellas, we are out.